This is Andy Purewal for ID Boxing. We're here in Sheffield and I'm joined by former world champion Darren Barker. Darren, I know you're in a bit of a rush situation, but I appreciate you stopping here. How's life? How's things going?
Yeah, really weird. It sounds funny. I take some getting used to you saying ID Boxing. But yeah, I'm well. I've got the kids up here, so I've got to drop them back to London and then I'm back up here tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm rushing around like a lunatic, but enjoying myself as ever. Love fight week.
We all love fight week, Darren, and obviously we've got the return of the next gen shows. Dalton Smith versus Sam Mason, the headline fight for British title. What are your thoughts on it?
There's a few questions that will be answered, I think. I mean, we know how good Dalton Smith is, but do we have a real star on our hands? And I think Sam Mason. I was speaking to Xavier Miller yesterday, actually, Dylan White's coach, and he said, the name escapes me now, but it was a guy that, cheers Mace, a guy that Sam fought recently, drew and lost against, what's his name? K Prospect, yeah. They said they had to come up with a very disciplined game plan for Sam because he's wobbled everyone he's fought. He really can punch. So I think you'll ask some questions of Dalton Smith, but I just think Dalton's an exceptional fighter. I really do. He's got a bit of everything. Exceptional hand speed. His boxing knowledge is second to none. Stems back from his amateur pedigree. He's got that punching power. Vicious, spiteful body puncher. There's everything there. There's all the components needed. Bar experience. And Sam's that guy. Is Sam that guy that can ask those questions? According to Xavier, he might be. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And like I say, I'm the same as you. I really enjoy these next-gen cards. It gives these fighters the opportunity to impress the boxing public. And I think most importantly at this stage in their career is impressing Eddie Hearn. Because you impress Eddie, you get the opportunity. So, yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
We'll touch on a couple others before we move forward, and as I say, I know you've got to shoot off to catch your train. Jordan Thompson versus Vasyl Ducar is a very good fight, and it's a big step up for Jordan Thompson. What are you expecting to see there?
Well, put it this way, Jordan Thompson's got the best Ducar. Ducar against Chris Billam-Smith had 1 week training camp. He's had 7 for this. Between 7 and 9, Eddie said 9, and I said 7. He said, well, I'm a promoter, so I'm going to say 9. But what that shows is he's had a proper camp for this. He's a very, very dangerous fighter. Only lost when he's had, near on no notice for the fights. Never been stopped. And the wins that he has had, I think it's 10 or 11 stoppages. He's only won on points once. He knocks everyone out. You see against Chris Billam-Smith, who's a huge cruiserweight. He was on the front foot. He was forcing the fight, was Ducar. So, similar in some respects to Dalton Smith, if Jordan Thompson was to stop Ducar, then 2023 is going to be huge for Jordan Thompson. But there's every chance that this could be a banana skin because of the preparation that Ducar's had.
Erica Farias and Sandy Ryan go at it again. Darren, how much pressure is on the shoulders of Sandy at such an early stage of her career?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, really. Full fight. And, this much pressure on her to perform and, most importantly, to win. But you've got to remember, Farias is a 2-weight world champion. She was coming off 3 defeats, don't get me wrong, before she fought Sandy. But nonetheless, I mean, it was a close fight. I thought Farias was very unlucky, to be fair, though she won the fight to get that point deducted in the last round. But anyway, she got the win, deservingly so, in my opinion, and most. But it set up the rematch nicely. Her demeanour, Sandy Ryan, she seems more composed, more mature. She's not mouthing off. She's all about business. Clifton, her coach, is telling me what a tremendous training camp she's had. So I think it's one of those fights where styles will always gel. Barry's got a tremendous chin, big heart, and it would just gel nicely once more.
Darren, moving forwards and onto somebody you know well and a gym you know well, Conor Benn, Eubank Jr. Now, it was a fight which was being spoken about potentially happening down the line. seemed at one stage, maybe last week or so, it was very close to being announced. That's not the case. But what's your understanding, your thoughts on potentially seeing Conor go up to this catch weight at 156 and Junior coming down if a fight could be agreed?
I love it. I love it because I'm old enough to have been watching their dads, two of British boxing's biggest icons, legends, and now their sons are having the opportunity. I remember when Conor first turned pro, and we was always like, it's such a shame that there's the weight difference. You know, they're never going to be able to fight. Well, we've got to that stage now where it looks like we're gonna find some middle ground, and the fight hopefully will take place. You have to remember, a lot of people saying that Chris Eubank is a lot bigger than Conor. This is true, he is. But Conor's going to have to lose around a stone to get down to the catch weight, at least. And let me tell you, when Conor is out of shape, he's still in tremendous shape, if that makes sense. He still looks the part. So yes, there will be a noticeable size difference, but don't get me wrong, Conor will be going into that ring extremely refueled, rehydrated, and extremely strong. It's just, there'll be them obvious question marks. Will he be able to hurt Chris Eubank, who's never looked like he's been hurt? He's inherited that granite chin from his dad, has Eubank. So it's a fascinating matchup. It really does. It will cross over to the sport fan, not just the boxing fan, and that's why this is such a big fight. The O2 will be completely sold out.
Would you be happy to see Darren, or would you rather see Conor go down his path of trying to become a world champion at welterweight and the same with Junior up at middle?
I think I can see a case for both. I can understand people screaming and shouting about the fight happening. I can imagine there's a lot of people would be extremely unhappy if the fight wasn't so. Where'd you get that from? Sorry, my son's just walking around with 20 pounds in his hand. He didn't get it from me.
Well, that might be mine, Darren. I think I've dropped that.
Oh, you got to pick a pocket or two. So I get it. But for me, it's a fight. Say if it didn't happen, I'd be gutted. And so much money. You've got to remember, these are fighters. I've got the opportunity to make millions fighting each other and captivate the British boxing, the British sports fan. And go ahead. I don't blame them. Good luck to them. I hope the fight happens. I do, personally. There's still opportunities for them to pursue their world title dreams.
Fury-Chisora 3 has been mentioned now. Apparently Derek's received an offer. He wasn't happy with it and he's sent back a counter offer as to what he would like. But not a fight I think people would have expected to see at this stage of either of their careers. But what's your thoughts if it was to get rubber stamped?
I'd rather Fury sit on his hands and wait for the winner of AJ Usyk, if I'm honest. But I guess Fury would be looking at this as a tune-up fight. Fury-Chisora, I've got so much respect for that man. He's entertained us for years and years and years. He deserves to fight whoever he wants. Who am I to say, you should hang up your gloves? Nah, he's saying he's got no intention to do it. Good luck to him, But I hope it doesn't hamper the Fury fight and the winner of AJ Usyk. I can't imagine it will, unless they drag their heels a little bit and the fight doesn't get made till later on in the year. Then it sort of messes up the timings. But that's the only reason I wouldn't be bothered about the fight, if I'm honest. Because really and truly, the only two fights that I do care about in the heavyweight division right now is the AJ Usyk return and the winner to fight Fury. That's all I care about right now, and I'm sure the majority of the British boxing public feel the same.
What are your thoughts on the return? We're only 2 weeks and 1 day away from it now.
I don't think you can rubbish AJ's chances. I think because he has that weight advantage, and I've said this a few times in the build-up, people forget that heavyweights wear the same ounce gloves as super welterweights. It's incredible. So if AJ was to hit Usyk clean, he gets the job done. But I still have Usyk a big favourite. I think he's a genius, an exceptional fighter. But AJ's just got to be ruthless, he's got to be aggressive, he's got to be, don't get me wrong, when I say that, I don't mean reckless. I think he's got to be smart in his approach, but he's got to be aggressive. He's got to hit the target, and I think he's got to work upwards to start the body first with the straight shots. You'll hit something, even if you're hitting arms, the waistband, the ribs, just hit the target, then work upstairs. That's his best chance against Usyk at a pace as well. But he's in there with an absolute master. But I'm sure that fight will be very entertaining.
Right, Darren, I think you've got about half an hour to make your train now, so I'm going to leave you to shoot off and grab your kids. 23 minutes. I appreciate you stopping by before shooting off. Thank you.
Enjoy the show.